Hi everyone, we want to welcome you to our first ever YouTube live webinar here in New York City. My name is Richard Carrion and I am the Director of Marketing here at Refersion. And a little bit about what I do here is I tell the story of Refersion to the world. And I have a really special guest, not only here, but we have special guests from all over the world.
It's amazing.
Right? It's like Copenhagen, Israel, there was England. I know it's like 9 o'clock p.m. in Copenhagen right now. Wow, that's really awesome.
Thanks so much for joining us, even that late.
Yeah. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague.
Hi, I'm Shakima. I'm the sales engineer at Refersion. Most of my work includes coming up with solutions to merchant problems that might include, managing your affiliate program, growing, scaling smaller programs, automating some affiliate communications. And when there isn't an out-of-the-box solution, I do come up with custom solutions and I work with clients one-on-one for that. And as someone who really loves technology, I am super, super excited to be sharing Webhooks with you guys today.
So we're really excited to talk a lot about automation, webhooks, and really also a really key value, and that's about how webhooks can really build a really continuous experience for your affiliates and influencers, but also help in terms of really streamlining some of the workflows in your marketing today. So before we get started, I just want to touch on a couple of housekeeping items. So first, to start off, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're currently not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we highly encourage you to do so. If you do, you'll have instant access to upcoming live webinars, notifications, as well as cool content. And Shakima, do you mind showing them where that subscribe button is located at?
Of course, right down below.
Yes. So, as she said, right below us. So feel free to hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. And there's also going to be an interactive component to our webinar today. We'll actually be doing some polling questions. And there's also going to be a Q&A session. So feel free to use the chat box to your right. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in there. It looks like we already have people coming in. It looks like having dinner right here. Thank you, Maria, for having dinner and joining us this webinar. It's 11 p.m. where MRNK Rich is at. Costa Rica. Wow, Costa Rica is awesome. They had Envision there a couple of weeks ago, which is a great festival out there. So other housekeeping items before we get started. There is a 30-second delay in the stream just due to YouTube policy. So as we do the polling questions, we will actually go back to them as you respond and retouch on those. So just be aware that we will not immediately get to the polling questions, but we will come back to them within a couple of minutes after we've asked the question. And lastly, we just ask that you're respectful to everyone who's joined us today. This is a learning community and a forum, and we really ask that you respect people's point of view of marketing as well as the questions they might ask. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Shakima, and she's going to walk you through some really cool stuff.
All right, so what is Brewing in the Automation Lab? Let's walk through our agenda so we can find out. So first, we'll get started talking about automation overall, some tools that you can use with webhooks specifically in Refersion, and of course, the best part, how to use webhooks, a few examples, some key takeaways that you can take with you at the end of this webinar session, and of course, Q&A, where you can ask us questions and we will be here live to answer them.
So it looks like there's a little bit of background noise, so we're going to do our best to be as close to the microphone as possible, so we do apologize. Sounds as though they turned on the heater here in the last 20 minutes, so we do apologize. So we'll do our best. But to get us started, we're actually going to ask our first polling question. And so the first polling question is, do you currently use automation in your marketing today? So like for myself, running marketing here at Refersion, we use automation a lot. We actually use webhooks across our entire marketing tech stack. For example, we actually even used it for this webinar. So that email you got earlier was using webhooks to pass leads from one platform to another and try to create a seamless experience for you all, as well as taking a lot of manual tasks off of our team.
Yes.
And so it looks like, oh goodness. Automated email marketing. Okay, so it looks like
I like
So I'm going to bring the microphone just a little bit closer here, and I think we're just going to pass it off to try to mitigate the sound. So apologies again. But with that being said, let's just do a quick check on the microphone. Okay, we're good to go there. So with that being said, that's awesome. It looks like some email marketing, a lot of email marketing. So it looks like email marketing is definitely used by a lot of the folks that are joining us today. So as I said earlier, Shakima is going to walk you through some really cool examples beyond email marketing, and there's some email marketing there as well.
Yes.
And yeah, awesome. Cool. I'm going to pass it over.
All right.
Let's go ahead and get back into the prezzo. Cool.
All right. So the key takeaway here is automation helps you scale manual tasks. Overall, just as a general concept, anything that is reducing your own workload and passing it off to a computer, to a machine, is a form of automation. Within marketing automation, you have your email marketing, as you guys have mentioned, social media marketing. All of those channels help to automate as well. Moving further down from that, you can use affiliates. Those are an extension of your marketing efforts. And in that respect, that is automation because you are not manually doing the work yourself. And then to help relieve the effort of managing those affiliates, you turn to an affiliate management software like Refersion to help automate that effort as well. Today, we're going to really focus on the affiliate management part, just because we want to take off some of those manual tasks in this one specific umbrella. So right now, if you obviously have Refersion, because you're on this webinar, that helps for tracking your affiliates, automating the commission calculations, keeping track of payments, having that registration page. All of those tools are provided to you and they help tremendously, but that still leaves some manual tasks that you need to do. Today, we want to solve some of those manual tasks. So, after having an affiliate management software, these are some of the manual tasks, maybe not everyone faces, but a common pool of people face. Number one, onboarding new affiliates. They're in your program, now what? You might still need to send them an email with how do you get started? Where do you find your link? How do you navigate your portal? So we want to kind of take those tasks off your hands manually to automate that. Syncing data to other affiliate systems or to other CRMs. So you might have your customers in your Salesforce account, but you still want to manage your affiliates there too. How do we get that data over there for you automatically? And lastly, keeping affiliates engaged. Part of keeping affiliates engaged is keeping up with them with communications, sending newsletters, maybe even asking for their birthday so you can send them a birthday shout out. And if you know it already, then you can automate those birthday send outs instead of manually looking through to figure out whose birthday is in February.
Yes, exactly.
So with those manual tasks, some really cool tools that I've discovered on the web are workflow apps. Some of the apps on the screen help to connect systems that would not normally be connected to each other. It helps to automate the connections to those systems without, like I said, those systems natively being connected. Some examples, I'll just read them out because some of them are really abbreviated. So we have Zapier, we have FlowXO, Integromat, Built.io, Automate.io, Zoho Flow, and Microsoft Flow. My favorite, hands down favorite part of workflow apps is that they are user friendly. A lot of them have visual tools, drag and drop tools. They have steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. They have drop down menus. They have icons for everything. So these kind of apps make connecting to your favorite apps possible without needing a developer, without having to know technology super well. So I think that if you want to give these a try, you can always, have a free trial, drag and drop things, look at videos to see how which flow works best for you. Do you prefer like a what you see is what you get, drag and drop, or do you prefer to have those steps? All right, so now that we've gone through some of the workflow apps and how they visually show you the steps that you can do, I wanted to talk about how workflow apps work with webhooks. So some of the workflow apps I've mentioned have the ability to consume webhooks from Refersion or webhooks from other places, and they are smart enough to take that data and parse it out so that only the data that you're looking for is passed on to other apps. And then webhooks overall, because I know we've been talking about it, but we haven't explained it. Webhooks are like data packages that are sent out when something happens. And then with this little data package, it can be seen as a notification. So kind of like when you get a notification on your phone, that's instant. Webhooks power that. When a flight is delayed, a webhook is actually sent to the airline and they send you a message to let you know that your flight was delayed.
You know, that's super powerful. I mean, I was just on a flight the other day and my gate was changed like twice. So if I would have showed up to the wrong gate and without that webhook, I probably would have been really upset with the brand, which again, ruins brand equity and trust. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about how that relates back to affiliates and influencers. But yeah, definitely, I think that's a lot of value there.
All right, so now that we've talked about, webhooks that they pass data, what data does it have? So if you look on the screen in this really black box, that is code. Webhooks are written in a way that machines can read because, of course, we need to pass this data to machines, but humans can read it as well. So while this is a block of code, if you look closely, you can see that this affiliate's first name is John. This affiliate's last name is Smith. His email is johnsmith@email.com. You can see his address. So you can read this and the machines can use this so that you can understand the data and the machines can automate the data for you.
Awesome. So one question I have for you, Shakima, is if I'm using a workflow app such as like a Zapier or like the Microsoft Flow one, will I need to actually look at code like this to execute in any of those things?
So you might only need to look at this code once just to decide what parts of this data you want to use in your flows. Do you want to use the affiliate's name and email in your flow? If you're sending them an email, you might want their name. You might want that email address. If you're going to send them, like a gift, you would want their address field. So you might need to look at this once for your initial setup of your flow, but once it's set up, you don't have to keep looking at this block of data.
Cool. So it sounds like it's pretty easy to do. I mean, I've used webhooks, specifically Zapier in my past. So that actually leads us over to our second polled question. So which of the Refersion webhook topics, actually not quite yet. We're going to back up. I think I stepped the gun a little bit too early there. However, I'll pass it back over to you, Shakima.
Thank you. Okay. So I think Richard was so excited about this next slide that he jumped ahead. So Refersion has webhooks. The webhooks in Refersion can be configured to go to any of the apps that you choose based on the URL or endpoint that you put inside of Refersion. What these URLs are for, they're a location or a destination to send the data to. So that's how we know to send it to your Zapier flow or to send it to your Automate flow or to your Zoho flow. If without the URL, we won't know where to send the data.
It's true.
So once you decided where you want the data to go, now you can choose which data type or topic you'd like to send to those places. The topics we have in Refersion are new conversions, whenever there's a brand new conversion that an affiliate has made, conversions approved, denied. So this might be existing conversions where you or a team member has changed the status of it. New affiliates, someone brand new came through your registration page. They're excited, they're gonna get started soon. You can be notified about that. Affiliate details change. This one's for existing affiliates who are already in the program and maybe they changed their email. You want to stay on top of that. You want to make sure you can keep communication going. So you want to know when the affiliates change their details. If they change their address, another one, super important. You want to be informed. You want to be updated. You want to stay on top of that information. Affiliate status change. If you have multiple people managing the program and someone disables an affiliate or they delete an affiliate, you might want to know about that in case the affiliate reaches out in the future, like, I can't log in. What happened to my account? Oh, let me see. You know what? I already know. Someone deleted your account. It was an accident. No worries. We'll get that back up for you. And then lastly, new conversion triggers. If you have a new affiliate, they went through your registration page, they chose a code or someone assigned one to them, you can see when that new conversion trigger is activated for their account. Or if you allow affiliates to submit email triggers, you can see what those new email trigger submissions are if they are automatically activated.
Cool. Awesome. So it looks like we have a question if we have a second to do that while we're here.
Sure.
We'll do our best to answer the question. So if we don't have an answer here, we can definitely reach out to you afterwards and send in an answer. But it looks like it's coming from Eileen. It looks like, so she's asking, is there a way to streamline their date of birth? So for example, we asked that people be over 18 and use a specific date format. But we're not able to control how they enter their date of birth. So it sounds like it's just an open text field, it looks like. Yeah, I'll let you take that one.
All right. So Refersion does have a few other data formats that can be used on the affiliate registration page. We did just release a date picker recently to solve that problem, kind of in conjunction with Webhooks and talking about, keeping up with birthdays, keeping up with addresses. Now the birth date field will only allow an affiliate to put year, month, day format. So you don't have to worry about some affiliates putting February and nothing else. Some affiliates putting 1/2 and then they don't put the year. So do reach out to our customer success team, helpme@refersion.com. Tell them that you'd like to add a date picker to your registration page, and they will help you to enable that field so you can add that there to collect the correct birthday formats.
Awesome. So yeah, we're actually doing the same thing here on the marketing team where we're trying to define like what is the format of our data, because you have to account for all the different versions, February, FEB, 2, and so having a picker like that definitely helps with your data hygiene. So now we can go to polling question number 2. So of all these events here, or topics as we call them, which of the webhook topics are you most excited about? I know for like myself, I think new conversions really cool. I think getting a Slack notification being like, hey, conversions happen, or a text message, like that's kind of fulfilling for me. I would do that for like white papers and things along those lines. Do you have a favorite, Shakima?
I think my favorite topic right now is new conversion triggers, specifically because I use WooCommerce for my own personal store. So if I want to automatically create a coupon code in my store when an affiliate signs up, I can do that using this webhook topic.
Oh, that's
so I'm most
awesome.
excited about that one.
So we have a couple of responses. So it looks like new conversion triggers, new affiliate detail changes. So it looks like everyone has different needs for the webhooks. And we do have one more question. So this one's coming from Rappel. My Refersion is linked to Shopify. Will the webhook for conversions give me the Shopify order number?
Yes. So we include the order number from your store as well as Refersion's internal conversion ID. Just in case you ever want to match the data between what we identify as a conversion, which is usually an 8-digit number, and your Shopify order number, which can be smaller, like 4 digits. So yeah, we include both. Okay,
cool. So I just want to touch a little bit on the idea of how this can actually impact the relationships you have with your affiliates and influencers. And as you know, as merchants and as brands, you have the ever evolving challenge to make sure that all of your communication channels, all of your data platforms are connected across, including your advertising platforms, to really create a true omnichannel experience for the consumer. And at Refersion, we really believe when working with affiliates and influencers, you should treat them very much like you do your customers. There's a discovery phase, there's an acquisition phase, and then there's a retention phase. And being able to communicate them with correct data in real time across platforms to the communication channel that they prefer or you prefer really builds trust, but also allows you to just create a better experience for them, which again, from the brand equity side, really enhances your brand and elevates that from that perspective. And then from the marketing team perspective, it's really helpful too, because it streamlines a lot of your workflows. What was once a manual task is now an automated task. So that now it means that a specific individual on your team can actually do more strategic things. So this really is valuable in terms of long term, but then also building those relationships both internally and externally. Pass that back over to you. All right.
All right, so now that we have gone over all of the topics that you can receive data about, you can take all of these topics, or just a few that matter to you most, and you can use these topics to knock a few things off your to-do list. Some examples would be instantly enroll affiliates in onboarding campaigns, keep the affiliate profiles updated in your CRM, auto-create affiliate promo codes in your store, and send affiliates a welcome kit to get started. So I wanted to walk through an example of creating a code in an e-commerce store using Webhooks by Zapier. I chose Zapier just because it's something that a lot of people are familiar with. I hear the word a lot, so I wanted to use this in the example. This is a video, so we're gonna stay on the slide for a while. What I'm doing here is I am searching for Webhooks by Zapier. I just named the Zap. I want to use the catch hook because I want Zapier to catch the data before it can do something with it. In Refersion, there's a webhook section. I did speed up a few of the steps here just so that we can, get to the meat, live in Zapier a little bit. But if you need to find it, it's in account settings and webhooks. But I chose new conversion trigger for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to stop here, go back to Refersion. I'm only doing this step so I can test the data when there's a new conversion trigger. Normally you wouldn't have to do this, but I wanted to do it live, add a new trigger, have that sent into Zapier so you can see what that data looks like. So, success. Zapier pulled in that trigger just added. So now I have the data from Refersion and Zapier, what I want to do with it. I'm using Webhooks by Zapier again, just because WooCommerce does not have an app in Zapier that does this, but there are other apps there. But I wanted to show you pure webhook to webhook. So not only can Zapier receive webhooks, so I just mapped the coupon code from the trigger from Refersion. I set the coupon as % of sale, 15%, and there's just a few API keys from WooCommerce, but I skipped that part. You always want to do a test with each step just to make sure that data is sending, data is being received. So my test was successful. WooCommerce sends back a lot of code to confirm that they received the data. So you see the name of the code there. I scrolled through it just a little bit so you can see like the URL of the coupon code. Scroll back up so you see that Shakima123 was created. Of course, you want to turn your Zap on or else that setup might not have been very beneficial. And I went to WooCommerce and I checked, and there it is, Shakima123. I never went to the UI, I never manually created it. Zapier helped to automate that entire process. Now that my Zap is on, any new triggers will automatically add information into Zapier. Zapier will send the information to WooCommerce, and I will have that coupon automatically created in my store.
Awesome. So there are a couple of questions here, but let's hold off on them till the end of the Q&A, and then we'll get back to them. But we definitely see your questions coming through.
All right, so now that we walked through how to use Zapier, you go through the step, you look for an app, you go through another step, you look for another app. I wanted to walk through a few example use cases. The first use case I wanted to walk through is 3 steps. So you're gonna see 3 slides covering the same use case, which is sending a text message to affiliates when there's an approved conversion. I don't know if you guys get as excited, but getting a text message for anything is it's a little bit of joy in my day. So I'm using a combination of Zapier and Klaviyo for this, but there are other apps you can use for text messages. Maybe I think Twilio, but Klaviyo just released this feature and I wanted to try it out. So let's kind of talk through this. So in the image, you have catch conversion status change webhook from Refersion. I'm using this one specifically because every new conversion might not be approved. There's a chance that it could be denied because customer returns something or some other reason. So I only want to get the conversions texted to affiliates when they've been approved. So I've added that filter so that only approved conversions go in my flow. At the very bottom, we're going to create a step that adds a new event for an affiliate in Klaviyo. And if you're not familiar with events in Klaviyo, events might be shop related, so someone went to your store, someone checked out. It might be page related, someone visited your page. So this is adding a custom event related to affiliates, which is new conversion in this example. So moving through the same example, there's some things you need to set up in Klaviyo so that the affiliate can actually get the text message. Same thing if you're not has different flows. So for this flow, the trigger is going to be a new event. What event are we going to use? New conversion that we just created in Zapier. So when someone has a new conversion, do something else. And for this, we're going to add SMS as the next step of what you can do or other tasks that you can automate. Here, send a welcome kit to approved affiliates directly from your store using Zapier. The first step is always going to be catching a webhook from Refersion because we need the data to do something else with. So we're going to catch the affiliate status change. Same concept as before. I may not want all new affiliates in case I decide to deny someone's application. So I'm going to filter for affiliates that are active, which another word would be approved, but at least from the webhook, it would say active. And then if the affiliate is active, then I want to create an order in Shopify. Some details that are not on the screen, but when you're setting up, you'll see is you can map the affiliate's name, their email from Refersion. You can map their address fields. That's why I wanted to walk you guys through the data first, so you can see how to use that data later. So once you've mapped the address fields and you choose the step to create the order in Shopify, that order will be created for that exact information for that affiliate so that it's automatically created for you. Your fulfillment team might have to manually ship it out, but you didn't have to manually create that order. Another use case is update Salesforce whenever an affiliate changes their details. Going back to what I said about, keeping on top of the affiliates, having their information updated all the time so that you can keep communicating with them, keep sending them things. You're going to catch the affiliate details change webhook, and then whenever something changes, update that record in Salesforce or update that record in ActiveCampaign or whatever other CRM you might use, or Zoho. Just a few examples, but definitely doesn't have to be specific to the ones here.
Cool. We'll actually move on to our next polling question. So everyone, we're going to actually do one of our last polling questions. So, you've heard a lot of cool different examples. We have I believe 3 of them to show. We showed you 3 today. But what are some other examples you might want to see in the future that we can maybe share with you? But feel free to go ahead and put that into the chat. For me, I would love to see different ways on how we can use it from a multi-layer communication. So not only through one communication channel, but multiple communication channels.